Hello and welcome to another episode of Morris LC3 Rescue. I'm glad you could join us. Got a bit of a drive ahead of us today. We're going to the east coast of Tasmania to have a look at a beautiful old Morris truck. I won't give you any spoilers at this stage. Just got a couple of little housekeeping duties to do. We're feeding an orphan lamb at the moment, so we'll get him fed and he'll be quiet. So without any further ado, let's feed a lamb. Well, here we are in beautiful St Helens. I'm glad you could come along for the ride. We're with Peter and Jenny today, and we're just having a look at a beautiful old Morris NVS. Yes, I know it's not an LC3. However, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth, and this old truck is a runner and a driver, as you'll see later on. And it also has a really interesting story. It's been in Pete's family since it was new, and purchased by his father as a grain truck, until it was retired to the shed. And yeah, when the farm sold, Pete was lucky enough to get his hands on it and has had it ever since. Anyway, we'll let Pete tell the story, and we'll get into learning a little bit more about this beautiful old Morris NVS.
This is the story about a 1951 3-ton Morris truck that my dad, Noel, bought the year I was born, 1951. So I'm 71 years of age, and I have quite an attraction to this old girl. Anyway, Dad bought this. He bought a square mile in the Mallee, way up in the drought country, back in 1948. And a couple of years later, he bought this truck, little 3-ton truck. And back in those days, it was all bags. He used to grow 400 acres of wheat, no bulk bins. So he had a G-wheel hoist, and you tipped the bag up into the back of the truck. And we're only 5 miles from the silo, and Dad worked there, and he had a working man with him. So I was just a kid at that time, baby. 10 years later, he bought a Bedford, which was a 6-tonner, but we still kept the old girl here, and just light duties around the farm. And I remember driving it, got my license when I was 18. I used to drive into the silo, and the diff conked out, the little 3-ton diff, so we put a 5-ton Morris diff in it. And what happened, we put 80 bags of wheat in it, which is a bit more than 3 ton. And the little 70020 tyres on it, you know, they would carve through the sand, and it was a strong engine in these old girls, 6-cylinder petrol engine. So yeah, I farmed there, and then when I came back on the property, you know, we got the big diesel trucks, bogie drive, and this was just parked in the shed, and we just bring the seed back in and to the little silos. And our farm expanded from a square mile to 3,500 acres. And a brother came back on the property, and we still kept the truck. And I always thought my link with the farm, it was going to be great. I got married in '78 and bought an irrigation property, and went back and worked on the farm with my dad and my brother. and continue on to year 2000. And I left the farm in '93 with the high interest rates, ran off to Melbourne and got a job. And Dad got the farm back, and he just putted around. He had the truck and little old tractor, and he passed in 2000. And so we sold the farm, and I said to Mum, "What are you going to do with it?" She said, "I'll sell it at the clearing sale." I said, "No, you won't, Mum. I want this truck. This is part of my, the year I was born." And so generously she gave it to me. And so what the heck am I going to do? And at this time, Mum was living in Benalla, just out of Benalla. And so it was still registered actually as a bulk carrier. So we sold the bin off the back at the clearing sale. And I thought, I'm going to drive this thing to Benalla, which is over 400 Ks. And so my wife and I, we were in Melbourne at this time. We went up there and wonder where the tray is. There was a tray here back, 15, 20 years ago. And we found the shed where we put the tray, but the shed had fallen down and the tray was there. So we dragged the tray out, winched up underneath the tree, stuck it on the back. And so it was the parade of the British, the old Morris truck and the Jenny's Jag car, and we putted along out to Benalla, to where Mum was. And then it was there for many years. And then Mum thought, I don't need the farm anymore, I want to move into town. So she bought a place in Benalla. And so that's when I'm thinking that the rego had run out. I wasn't going to risk driving the truck into Benalla with the police around. So I thought, let's get a car trailer, and I took the jewels off, stuck it on the back of the car trailer and took it into Benalla. And then, as things go, before then I missed a little bit. At Benalla, after Mum sold the farm, I went to my sister's, was just right next door, and it was in the garden for 6 years actually. And that's where the flowers came from, the beautiful flowers and the bumper and the lights. And my sister's got a beautiful open garden there, she has weddings there. And so she sold plants off the back of the truck, so that was exciting. And then we decided, let's go to Tasmania. And the truck was still stuck at Benalla. So what the heck are we going to do? Jump in the old Jag again, shoot back up to Benalla, up the Hume Highway with the car trailer. Came back in the middle of the night when there wasn't the boys in blue around, hopefully, and parked on the lawn in Doncaster. And then we put it in a 40-foot container, brought it over here to, we call it St Helens, and I was going to really restore it and put a nice wooden tray on the back, because it's very easy to restore. I'd done rings and that on, the brakes had been done, relines, stainless steel sleeves and stuff. But the crazy thing is, I've had a back fusion, I've had prostate cancer, I've had this, all these other bloody things. I'm thinking, I've got too many projects on. And the wife, she who must be obeyed, says, "Pete, you really need to keep this now." And I do, I'm heartbroken, but I want it to go to a good home. And thanks for my mate John here, who's came up here and has shown interest in the truck. And there's very original. I think it's done less than 100,000 miles for sure, because it's just 5 minutes from the silo. So that's about my story with this 1951 Morris truck.
I think it'd be clear to anybody just what a connection Peter and Jenny have with this truck, and it's understandable. This truck's been in Pete's life since he was born. So it'd be really remiss if we didn't actually start this truck up and have a bit of a listen to the engine, take it all in, the smells, the sight, the sound, and then of course we've got to let Pete take us for a drive as he rekindles his love with this beautiful old Morris NVS. she'll run better. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, thanks for being with us on Morris LC3 Rescue. If you like what we're doing, just pop a like on the thumbs up there. Certainly you're welcome to share the videos, and by all means leave us a comment. We like your feedback. Take care now, and we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.